Hey out there. Well, this week is Mardi Gras week. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Tammy and I'm a leadership and career growth coach who loves helping you be the best leader you can be so you can grow in your career. And why am I mentioning the fact that it's Mardi Gras week? Because if you also know me, you also know that I'm a pretty big Disney fan. I'm one of those weird Disney adults. And I think one of my most favorite movies of all time is The Princess and the Frog. Princess Tiana is probably one of my most favorite characters that Disney ever created alongside Moana. So Mardi Gras evening comes around, we're watching the movie, and it dawns on me. There are so many lessons in this movie. I have to share them. Now, for those of you who've watched this movie, you probably already know these lessons, but I want to share it with my audience and with all of you out there because whether we're growing as leaders or whether we're growing as individuals, these lessons apply. So here are 7 tips from Princess and the Frog that you can apply to your life starting today. The first is believe it is possible. If it's one thing that this movie shows us is the importance and the value of having a dream, of being able to wish on a star, to be able to dream big, to think about the big ideas, the things that will drive us, the things that bring us joy. And Tiana in this movie doesn't care that she's growing up in the bayou in a not so affluent part of the neighborhood. To her, the idea of having her own restaurant does not seem out of the realm of possible. The second thing is focus. So Tiana and her father have these conversations about wanting to get this big dream realized as she grows up. And as Tiana famously sang in her song, I remember Daddy told me fairy tales can come true. You gotta make them happen. It all depends on you. Ah, yes, the things we do to not get copyright stricken. So you can have this big, massive dream, this big idea that you want to accomplish, whether it's as a leader in an organization or in your own personal life. The fact is you can dream and wish on a star all you like, but if you don't actually start taking measured action towards that dream or that shift, nothing's going to happen. The third item that came up for me while watching this movie is stay true to your values. My goodness, this comes out so strong, especially in the moment where the big shiny object, where Tiana's being tempted by Facilier on the dream that she can have if she just does what he wants her to do, essentially caving to temptation. But as she does that inner monologue, as she goes inwards to herself, she realizes that does not align with her values and the values that her father taught her growing up, and that it still takes hard work and that you can't just be given things for free on a silver platter because there is always a price. When you accept that, when you go against your values, there's a price, and we pay it in our lack of joy, our sense of misery, our sense of guilt. And it is such an important part of this movie that things can come to you easily if you take shortcuts, but are you going to feel good about those shortcuts? And is it really an ethical shortcut? That's the other piece. The fourth thing she teaches us is being willing to do things differently. So one thing that she always talks about is, I don't have time for dancing, right? She doesn't have time for dancing. She doesn't dance. This is not joy, and fun for her is not a thing because she's focused on her dream. But here's the thing is it's all about balance and willing to do something different. So when she turns into a frog and ends up in the swamp, what does she end up doing? She ends up dancing with Naveen. This is something completely different for her. And because she danced in the bayou with Naveen, she expanded her thinking and her feeling and her joy levels and ultimately found love, which is not necessarily the thing that all us women want to hear about. It's like, if I do something differently, I might grow, I might become more successful, I might actually achieve the goals I want. Sometimes when we stay too focused in our lanes, we tend to lose the bigger perspective. And I think that's a really important lesson here is be willing to do things a little differently because the path to your success, the way you think it should go, and the way it ends up happening might be very different. Fifth thing is to embrace what you have and build on that. The whole concept of dig a little deeper is really about embracing what you have and looking at where joy really comes from. And it doesn't come from the external things, it comes from the inside things. So it's really starting with what you have, being grateful for what you already have before you start to actually expand your circle beyond it. The next thing is to find friends who believe in you. There's always going to be the naysayers out there.
Are you talking about that dang restaurant again?
Buford, your eggs are burning.
You ain't never gonna get enough for the damn payment.
I'm getting close.
Yeah. How close?
Where are my flapjacks?
You got about as much chance of getting that restaurant as I do of winning the Kentucky Derby.
They're always going to be there. You're always going to have someone who's going to try to poo-poo your dreams. And at the beginning of this movie, Tiana doesn't have a lot of friends because she's actually too focused on her dream and the success that she's looking to achieve. And in doing so, she's in the absence of having a support or community that can help her get there. But as the movie progresses, you start to see her relationships with Ray and with Louis and with Naveen really grow. And in that, she not only finds joy, but she finds the balance needed and the support required, because without their help, she actually doesn't get her dream realized. Nothing in life happens solo. I'm sorry. There's a lot of people that have success solo and they say that they did everything on their own. But the reality is you almost always need something or someone who can help kind of bring and shepherd either the tools or the resources or the energy or whatever to help you get to the next level. And the last thing, and it's super important, is to follow your heart. Really important to follow that heart-centered piece, because one thing that she never lost sight of was the love of her father and the dream she had for herself, and always wanting to achieve that dream in support and almost like in reverence to her father's dream that was never realized while he was alive. But the other thing too is that she followed her heart. She followed her heart with Naveen. She followed her heart with her dream. She followed her heart in her actions. And in doing so, success came. So always follow your heart. Always follow what your inside inner sage, inner wisdom tells you to do, because that's usually the right direction to go. Well, that does it for this week, folks. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. If you liked any of this content, give it a like. And if you think you like this kind of content on a regular basis, subscribe, because I am here every single week giving you the kind of information that can help you grow in your career. Hopefully you have a great Mardi Gras week. And if you don't celebrate Mardi Gras, you know what? Let's just celebrate the fact that the days are getting longer, the sun's out longer, and the snow will start to melt soon if you're from the north, and the cold will relinquish its sort of hold on us as we can move out of winter and into spring and summer. So take care, folks. Until next week, see ya.